Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Man, I got a busy day today. Man, I got go to have two. They get grandparents day at my grandkids' school today, so I got to go eat two lunches today, back to back, kindergarten and then first grade. Ain't that something? Then I got a meeting. I got to go with some people at one I think 1:45 today. After that, I guess it's gonna be a busy day for me, man. By the time I lay my head on that pillow today, I'm going to deserve the sleep that I get today. But anyway, man, it's a great day, and I thank God for this day. It's a beautiful day, a beautiful day. I don't know what the weather's like outside, but it does not matter. Today is a beautiful day because I am here with each and every one of you to share and to appreciate this day together, regardless of the good, bad, indifferent, or whatever the situation. This is a beautiful, beautiful day. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for sharing this moment with us. Badger, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, everybody. Almost said good morning, Vietnam.
Wow,
I
wow.
was just going through my head this morning. I don't know.
Mhm.
Robin Williams skits, man.
There you go.
Movies.
There you go. And let me do this. The phone lines are open as well. The phone lines are open. I would love for you all to call in and be a part of the conversation that we're having today. We got I think we got a great topic we're going to talk about today. I took it to the streets. I took it to the streets, and so I a segment of what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna play some clips that I asked a particular question, asked particular people a particular question, and we're gonna respond to their response to the question. We're gonna try to do that maybe once a week. We'll probably do it on Wednesday like we used to do, but we're gonna do it on Friday today. And I think I got about 5 or 6 different clips, short clips. They're not long at all. I asked a question, and let's listen to the response. Got some very interesting responses to this one particular question that I asked. But right now, Badger, I want to ask you a question.
What's up?
Badger, what is today and the way that it used to be back in the day? What is it? What is a child's place? Because a lot of times they say a child need to stay in a child's place. Let that child stay in a child's place. Child is getting out of a child's place in adult business and all that stuff. What is a child's place?
Huh. What is a child's place? Huh. I'm working on it. I'm just boy, that is a question though.
Absolutely. Today is Friday, brother. Today
I
is
guess you
Friday.
would. I guess for me, I would say it depends on how you raise your kid
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because a kid should be allowed to be a kid to learn.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
So
that's good. But what is a child? What is that? What is a child's place? Everybody have their place. Like I said, some people say a caveman would say, or a person have a caveman mentality about how society works. Would say a woman has a place, a certain place that a woman has to stay in. Some people say barefoot and pregnant. Some people say all kind of things about women. I don't agree with that. I feel like a woman is an adult just like we are, and so wherever she is her place. But that's an adult. That's an adult. What about a child? What is a child's place?
to learn
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Come on, come
I
on.
mean, they don't have to pay bills or anything like that, but
Mhm.
I don't see no harm in letting them be a part of decisions. So,
So you saying a child should be able to make household decisions that a lot of times parents say that the husband and wife, if both of them are in a household or a single parent, would sit down and think about what needs to happen for the best. position for the household to be in, you think that should a child should be included in that conversation?
In some of them, yes.
Mm.
Like, like emotional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Finding out how the child feels, finding out how you know what's going on through their mind, how are they, you know, how how do they like their bedroom, how do they like the setup of the house, do they have any recommendation that could maybe help with the feng shui?
Mhm. But see, and I see where you're going with that, and some people, do things like that and do include the children in situations like that. But other side of the coin is this: a lot of parents will say, if you ain't paying no bills in here, you ain't got you ain't got nothing to say about how I set up my house. You ain't buying nothing. You ain't paying for nothing. So why am I gonna come to you and ask you how I need to set up my house when I'm the one that they have to go out there and pay for?
Huh. That's I if that's the way people, then that's on them.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my wife run our house different.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I we're now we're not going to let our kids run through the house and throw things around, make a mess, and we're going to hold them accountable.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been teaching them since they were born, you know, as they've grown up, what they're able to handle and be accountable.
But see, my thing is this right here, and I have four daughters, and I have my daughters has always been very mature for whatever age they was at that particular time.
Right.
Um, but my thing is this right here. I know that when I'm dealing with my daughters, my four daughters, regardless of how mature they was at that age, I have to understand that they're still children.
Oh
I
yeah, for
still have to
sure.
understand. And so with me understanding that they're still children, there's certain things I'm not going to put on their plate.
Right.
There's certain things that me and my wife have to come with certain things that if we run for whatever reason run a little short on a bill or something like that, I'm not gonna go and ask my daughters, well, we a little short. Which one should we pay? Which one should we not pay? You don't even have to
Oh
worry about
no, no,
it.
no, not
And
like
so my
yeah,
thing is
no.
see, and I'm just putting it out there, but my thing is this right here. I let my children be children. I let my children be children, and certain things. Me and my wife we lay on in the bed at night, and we talk about certain situations.
Oh,
We'll
for
talk,
sure.
and so this is what it is. It's she and I that's making certain household decisions, and the children, they hate to say it this way, and I hope it doesn't sound ugly, but they have to fall in line, man. They got to fall in line. That's just
And what do you mean by that?
mean whatever we decide. If we decide that we're gonna do this, or the house is gonna run in this way right here, they have to
Oh,
fall. They
like
have to
rules of the
fall.
house?
They whatever we decide, they have to fall in line. They have to follow whatever we put out there because we are the adults, and we want to do it thinking about them and making sure that there's no hurt, harm, or anything on them. But at the same time, we have to make decisions. We have to make the adult decisions because we are the adults, and we can't interject children in adult decision making.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that sounds about what we do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I nah, as far as like the money side of the house, we give them chores and stuff so they can start a process of learning their responsibilities. But no, there's some things that they're kids,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so they don't know about, like, let's say going to buy a new couch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe me and my wife will decide which one or two or three, is in our range. And then we'll just ask the kids, which one do they like out of
Mm-hmm.
this one, and this one.
Mm-hmm.
We we do things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like the core, no, that's the wife, and I support it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
So, with that being said, and I can agree with that. What is a child's place?
To learn, to be a
Mm-hmm.
kid. And most of a kid's life is learning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's our responsibility to teach them the morals, the code, to give them that foundation, which is part of learning, which even when we're adults, we still learn. What have fun,
Mm-hmm.
learn how to be accountable for your actions and what you say.
What happened when the child step out of line? What happened when the child step outside a child's place? How do you
They
do that?
lose privileges,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they lose games, they lose shows, they get grounded.
Mm-hmm.
So
And the reason why I ask that because I know some people don't agree with spanking of the children. Some people don't agree with that. Some people think that
yeah, I don't spank anymore.
mm-hmm,
If I realize that don't need it.
mm-hmm, don't need it.
I don't need it.
Mm-hmm,
That it would have to be something so extreme for me to spank now. It ain't. Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Ever since I stopped spanking and looked and took things on a much higher psychological style,
mm-hmm.
their behavior has gotten so much better.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Even though one of them has a developmental disability.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I going to spank a child with needs,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that he's got delays and these other issues? Eh, Why don't I just take the extra effort and be accountable as the parent and find out what is the best way or for my son?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And and it's working.
Okay. Okay. But see, and that's the thing right there. See, I would never tell, and some people say, well, do this or do that or try this. I'm not gonna tell anybody how to raise their children because they're their children. And so I think for me to interject myself into how a person raised their children or run their household, I'm stepping out of line myself. So I won't say anything about that at all. But what I will say is me. For me, I did spank my girls. I tried not to as much as I could. I tried not to, and I let that be a last resort, a last resort. But at the same time, if all else fails, I take that belt out. Come here, come here for a minute. This is what we're doing, and this is why we're doing that. I told you many times. I done told you over and over again that you're not gonna do that, but you continue to do it because you want to do it. And now we at this point right now. We're at this point right now that I'm not the parent that's gonna sit here and say it's gonna hurt me as much as it's gonna hurt you. I don't know about that. It does hurt because you don't want to have to, do your, discipline your children in that way. But at the same time, you have to do what you feel as a parent that is best for those children. And so if that's gonna stop them from sticking their hand in that socket, you got to stop them from sticking their hand in that socket. Because if they do stick that hand in that socket, and I'm using the socket just as a symbolism, but if they stick their hand in that socket, whatever that socket is, it could cause more damage than that spanking ever will.
Oh yeah, I've even heard about the parents that would let it happen anyway.
Now, I'm not
And
gonna do
I'm
that.
like, I know what electricity feels like. That's not a good idea.
Hmm. Well,
I've
now
got damage to my body because of that.
mhm. Now understand when I see the socket, I was just using that as a symbolism. It could have been anything. It could have been
Yeah.
a fire. Could have been eating something you ain't got. It could have been anything. Um, I seen a child go in the yard sometime and just want to pick up stuff off the ground and think they could eat it. And so if they go in the ground, they pick up the wrong thing off the ground of Mother Earth, it could kill them. It could kill them or cause all kind of damage to them because certain things we can't ingest. They go out in their yard and they see a certain mushroom on the ground. It could totally mess them up, man. A mushroom that's growing out of the ground they could eat that mushroom and it could mess them up for the rest of their life.
See, that's where we like have books and we actually
Kids don't know
learn
that.
what. Well, no, no. but we teach ours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's safe in nature and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
So we, I don't know. We do things the way we do things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But see, not everybody even have that knowledge about what it is. And so they say, look, just don't eat none off the ground because they don't know what's the good plants, what's the bad plants, what
Well,
this plant is doing to them. Some people just don't know that.
you
And
asked
so
a question yesterday
okay, now we're going back
about,
to yesterday.
well, it plays into this.
Mm-hmm.
Where we dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel what we're discussing right now kind of goes into that category
Mm-hmm.
because I've always wondered, where do the parents s- decide to stop learning certain things? So like, I'm
Excuse
still learning about plants, but I increased my amount of learning about plants because of those situations so I can teach my kids.
me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And and you're saying that some parents don't know about it and stuff like that. And what
A
goes
lot of
through
them don't.
my head is, why don't they put in the effort?
Some parents don't want to know that. Some parents is not a part of the interest level of learning at all. And so if it's not in the interest of learning, they're not gonna take the extra time to say, well, let me go over here and let me learn this right here because I gotta learn this and this because of the, they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. And a lot of times they say, well, I got so much on my plate already. I ain't got time to sit here and learn about no plants. I don't have time for that.
Well, what if
Even
the child,
though it could be something that's very good for them to learn and to know, so they can teach their children, but they just don't have time. Badger,
yeah, well, what if the
they don't have
child's in the science and wants to learn about all that stuff, and the teachers aren't doing a good job at school? We're
what if the
supposed to be teaching them.
what if the kids are into sports and the parents say, well, I love the fact that you playing sports, but if we're gonna keep these bills paid, I got to go to work. I can't come to your games. Not that I don't have an interest, I just don't have the time to do that
Oh
because I
man,
have to keep these bills paid.
that's one of those things that I'm just gonna say how I feel about it. It
Mm.
sucks,
Yeah, yeah, it does. It
and
does.
that's a real thing. The
Yeah.
parent really wants to, but
Mhm.
because of their hours at their job, if their
Mhm.
job won't let them have it off, there's not much they can do.
Yeah. Yeah,
Other
exactly.
They'd have to quit and find another one
Mhm.
that would work around it. And that's you can't that you doing that nowadays? Yeah, right.
Mhm. Mhm. And that's my whole point, Badger. That's my whole point. It's not that they don't want to, but they just it don't fit in the scheme of what they're doing at that particular time. If they're going to keep everything running, if they're going to have the house where you go into the room and hit a light switch and something happens, lights come on, or you
Oh
open up
yeah.
that refrigerator door and there'll be more than that light looking back at you. They have to go to work, man. And so learning about plants and stuff like that, man. A lot of times they just don't have time. A lot of parents just do not have the time to do that.
See, I'm a firm believer that you gotta learn to make time.
How?
You gotta have enough
How? How do you? How do
faith.
you? When you leave when you leave one job, go right to the next job because you need
Oh
both
yeah.
of these jobs in order. And the reality, brother, I'm talking reality to you. Some people, man,
No, I know, you're
leave
right.
one job and they go straight into another job, and then they come home, have to do whatever they got to do at home to make sure the house is right, make sure this is right, make sure the kids are in order like they supposed to be in order. Then they got to find a place, find some time to get some rest so they can do it all over again tomorrow. Where they gonna find the time at? You know,
I would
everybody,
hope that
every
one parent's able to stay if one's having to work that many jobs.
Badger, come on, man. In this day and time, come on, Badger.
I know.
Come on, Badger.
It's
Come on,
it's
man.
hope, man.
Yeah.
You know
Okay.
me.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, hope is a beautiful
But
thing,
but
but
it's
reality
truth.
is
What you're
hope.
talking is truth.
Yeah.
It unless you get lucky and get that 20, 30, $40 an hour job, you're working more than one job to take
Yeah.
care of your family.
Exactly. And a lot of times, man, the parents only time they really see each other is when they're sleeping, when they go to bed at night. If one of them is not working overnight, one of
Hmm.
them might be working overnight. I've been in a situation where I worked the third shift, man. I worked third
I've
shift.
I've been so blessed to be injured and to, I mean, I never know when I'm going to be in a wheelchair and all that kind of stuff and be more paralyzed than I am.
Mm-hmm.
But to be able to be home with my kids as much as I am in this economy is a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are like, I should be upset about my back and all the other crap I'm going through. But looking at the way things are, it's a blessing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I can't be mad at having being in such a medical condition when I have the privilege to be able to spend more time with my kids than most do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I like so it's that's why I'm always about perspective and perception.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
I wish our economy wasn't so jacked up. I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many kids I've talked to and stuff where their parents are working all the time and they have teachers and social media
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and and some parents feel bad and they let the kids play whatever games they want and different stuff, and then that causes a whole nother set of issues
Mm-hmm.
because people in I don't man gaming communities can be really bad. They can be good too, but man,
Mm-hmm. It's a lot tied into it, huh?
yeah, because we're dealing with a situation of having to work with grandparents and teach grandparents how to work with our um, the needs uh, of our children,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a whole different conversation.
Mm-hmm. Well, grandparents are. Yeah, I'm a grandparent, and some grandparents are very good, and some are on the other side of that spectrum, brother.
Well, I mean, it's like if one of your daughters had a child with that was born with a neurological disorder, it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of effort to have to learn how to be aware.
Mm-hmm.
You having to learn about a brand new way of being around a child
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of the regular stuff don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Like some kids you can't take to Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
They're not able to handle it and different things like that. And I don't know if it's just denial. They don't want to see their kid like they don't want to see their grandkid like that or what it is. Well, what do you say to that?
There's and see, I like having an opportunity to take underprivileged kids and different things, and I know that's different from what you're talking about on different places. And we're working right now about on a way where we're going to take underprivileged kids on a very underprivileged kids on a free trip to Six Flags over Georgia. That's what we're working on right now.
Ooh,
Yeah, we're working on that, and we're doing a couple of events. The last couple of events that's what we're gearing towards. Getting underprivileged kids a free trip, very underprivileged kids that the families cannot afford it, much like the families that we're talking about right now. They cannot afford to take their kids to Six Flags or to have them to have opportunities like that. We want to do it free of charge. No expense. They ain't got to worry about no expense. Just get them to a certain place, and we'll have a bus to pick them up, take them to Six Flags free, feed them, let them go out there and have a great time, bring them back to the same location at a certain time, and drop them off. That's what we're looking to do right now.
dude,
Um,
that's awesome.
and see one of the things, but you're talking about kids that cannot afford, that not necessarily cannot afford it, but can't deal with all the stuff that's going on. That's on a totally different level. That's on a totally different level because the noise, sometimes the noise alone is enough to disrupt a person in a way that you don't want them to be disrupted. Certain sounds affect people differently. Noise levels affect people differently. And so I don't know, brother. I don't know. How do you deal with that one? I don't know. I have no idea.
It's a tough one. Like
Hmm.
not being able to take them to a movie theater, certain places, because we got to be careful of the kind of lights they're using, how many people are there,
Hmm.
and all
Hmm.
kinds of stuff like that. And there's a lot of parents that deal with that kind of stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Every
know.
day.
And sometimes you hope that family members are compassionate and understanding and will respect you know what you're trying to help them understand of what the child needs. And sometimes it's a fight, it's a struggle on
Yeah.
top of everything else.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's I haven't got that. The conversation from yesterday is just constantly in my mind because there's so much to all of this.
Hmm.
Raising a child is there's no one right way because each child's different.
Yep. Exactly.
So, so you got to figure
Exactly.
out the child's needs.
Hmm.
Don't you know understand where they're at, meet them where they're at, give them
Hmm.
a good foundation. Some
Hmm.
children can get a spanking and understand and don't ever do it again because they
Hmm.
get that recognition that, hey, okay, this was really really bad. This is going to hurt me if I do this, so on and so on. And while other kids, they have sensory issues and other things of that nature that would do more harm than good.
Hmm. I'm gonna tell you something. Like I said earlier, we got Leonard on here. We're gonna go to Leonard as well. But I have, like I said, I have four daughters. And to your point, I have four daughters, man. So there's four different personalities. Um, I got one or two of them that I could just look at them a certain way. I just look at them, and whatever they're doing, they're gonna stop. Okay, Dad, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And they're gonna stop it right there. Boom, it's done. Ain't gotta say nothing. Ain't gotta do nothing. Ain't gotta spank them. Worry about spanking them, man. But I'm gonna tell you something. I got another daughter that, man, head just as hard as mine. Head just as hard as mine. And she from Missouri. You gotta show her. You gotta show her. She ain't gonna believe it. You have a plate full of stink right there, and she'll tell you it don't stink.
Sounds like
Smelling
my
it,
youngest.
smelling it. Smell is all up in her nostrils. Smell it, and she'll tell you it don't stink. Nope, I don't believe it stink. And you have to prove it to her, man. And sometimes that includes having to take that belt out, man, because she ain't gonna believe nothing, nothing. She hard headed like me, and I know it. She get that right for me, and it's honest. She got it honestly, but it doesn't make it easy to deal with it when you're trying to parent. Leonard, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and morning, little family.
Leonard, watch. I'm going to say something. We're going to get back on our topic, but see, you might have been one of them hard headed fellows like me. So I was hard headed, man. You had to growing up. You had to show me, man. Show me. I don't believe it. Show me. Show me. Like I was talking about with my daughter. One of my daughters. I gotta show her, man. I gotta prove it to her. If I don't prove it to her, she ain't gonna believe it. Yeah, and that's just what it is. And so, with that being said, Leonard, we asking a question this morning. What is a child's place? A lot of times, you hear a lot of grown folk, elderly folks say, you got to put that child back in the child's place, the child out of the child's place. Well, Leonard, what is a child's place?
To be respectful, of things older than them and more intelligent than them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. It's not a big heavy concept.
Now, does
I'm having issues. I'm having issues right now. So the concept is simple,
mm-hmm.
but just like anything else, disobedience has its issues. It has its consequences.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So discipline is, to me, a very big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that you say indicate how you think. And if how you think is not going to keep you alive, it's not going to be to your benefit, that needs to be changed.
Mm-hmm.
Self-discipline is great, but oftentimes you're dealing with a human being. So you have to discipline,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you have children. I mean, I don't tell people to run out and have kids and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it's one of those things
Badger
that I am least successful at.
Mm-hmm. Badger and I was talking earlier about kids helping making household decisions. And I told him, I said, my wife and I, man, we lay in the bed at night and we talk about certain things. We talk about, what this is, what that is, what we need to do about that. And we had those discussions. That's just what, how we did it. But we didn't include the children in the conversations, in the decision-making conversations, because we are the adults. And as the adults, we need to make certain decisions on our own. And the kids have to pretty much fall in line to whatever decision that we make for the household. How do you feel about that, Leonard?
Well, it just depends on what you're making a decision about. There are certain things that there's no need to discuss with children.
Mm-hmm.
Because children don't live in reality most of a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So their ability to grasp real concepts and things is still developing. Their minds change like the wind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it depends on the decision that's being made.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes to things that you have to depend on, that's not a child decision.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't depend on a child.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I mean, that's just the nature of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a big proponent of just having children.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of responsibility.
A lot.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And if it's strange that we would be having this conversation today. For me, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because of issues with children. Personally, the things that children are doing these days should make people really think twice about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Think twice about having children.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're happy right now, if you're truly happy, stay that way.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Stay that way.
So you would speak against, in certain situations, people having kids?
And unless that's something you want to do with a partner, and that's what you want to do, and you set out to do that, fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
However, if you just out here willy-nilly, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
People don't realize
it's more responsibility.
A lot of times, if you don't have kids, I mean, you babysit your little niece and nephew from time to time and stuff like that. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Great.
different. That's different from now these are your children. That's different, man. Because
exactly
when you babysit their niece and nephew, there's a point in time they're going home, and you're gonna get your life back.
Exactly.
So
think about grandparent being your grandparent.
Yeah. I get today.
I heard being a grandparent is so great because they go home.
Yeah, and see today they even at the school today. Yeah, see even Lord Jesus, but even on like today, I have to get out of here right at 10 o'clock, man, because they having grandparents day at the school, and so I got to go have lunch with two of my grandkids at different times, man, throughout the day. Today I got to leave out of here right at 10 o'clock, so I can go and be there on time. So when my grandson he go to lunch first at 10:45. And so I want to when I got to go through the line, do the whole processing thing. be there, be in the cafeteria, meet him, sit down, eat with him, and then when we get finished eating with him, my granddaughter come right into the cafeteria after that. So I'm gonna be stuffed, man. Come 1 o'clock, I'm gonna be stuffed, and I ate 2 lunches, man. I got to, because my daughter.
You don't mind eating 2 lunches. I don't act funny.
But see, the thing about it, my daughter asked me, she said, Dad, I know, both of them on the same day, and I don't know why they put it on the same day as back to back. Which one you gonna go to? And I'm not gonna pick and choose. I'm going to both of them. Because I'm not gonna have one thinking
if
that.
You can, yeah.
I'm not gonna have one thinking that people he came and ate with me, but he didn't come with you. No, I'm not gonna have him thinking that way. I'm going, I'm not gonna do it.
I am a big supporter of Planned Parenthood.
Yeah. Wow.
Because you really got to consider that as a part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm not listening to?
What's that?
I don't sit and listen to people complain about the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
yeah,
too much.
Mm-hmm.
As I understand you're looking for solutions, but complaining about having them, no.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had them. I took it on myself to stop making them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because of the stress involved.
Exactly. Hold right there, Leonard. Let me go to Cassandra. Hold right there. I'm gonna come right back to you. Don't go nowhere, man. If you can stay with us. Cassandra, Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Yeah. Good morning.
Cassandra, and I know how you feel about this too. I know how you feel about this, man. Today is Friday and we're talking about it. We're talking about children. And for many years you've heard older people say, man, put the child back in the child's place. Man, the child getting out of the child's place. Put the child, man, look here, you letting the child get too grown. The child getting too grown. Why the child all up in my mouth? Get the child out of here when we're talking about this. And they always talk about put a child in a child's place and make sure that children stay in children's places. Cassandra, what's a child's place? And good morning. How you doing this morning?
I agree with Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
They need things that are concerning children. You can talk about it. Like if you're talking about getting a family dog, then you discuss that with your children.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Things like that. Well, what would you like if we can do it? Possibly get for Christmas or for your birthday, things like that. And then what are you going through at school? That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, is there anything you want to tell me about, what happened at school today? That type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there are certain things that I feel like children don't need to be talking about. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need to be discussing with them. Like when I'm going through with maybe it was when they were young and I was financially struggling or whatever.
Yes.
I didn't go to my children and say, oh, Lord, the water bill or light bill, because I didn't want to put that kind of pressure on them.
Exactly.
Now, if the lights get turned off, they know the lights off. Yeah, mommy couldn't do it or whatever. But, and I tried to, make sure that didn't happen, but it was a couple of times it did. But I think that children nowadays, let them express it. Yeah, you can express yourself, but you better do it with respect, or you gonna end up with a punch mouth or something. Or no, I'm just kidding.
You'll be tasting. What you say?
I'm not kidding, but I'm just kidding. Look, I'm just kidding, but I'm not kidding. No, you're not going to talk to even my grown children. There's certain ways that they cannot talk to me any kind of way.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
Exactly.
Because no, we're not doing that.
And I say it in a minute. Hey, don't pay me no attention. I'm just serious. Don't pay me no attention. I'm just serious. Because
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, but no, I believe that with children, you just have to. They can't be all grown and no. No, we not gonna do that. And I'm definitely Leonard when it comes to Planned Parenthood.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many. Oh. Last night, I almost called you last night.
Mm-hmm.
Last night I was coming from Marietta, and there are some hotels on Delk Road, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there were two groups of women going into the hotel. I guess they get them from school or whatever and do whatever. but going into the hotel with their children, right? And man, I almost cried because people don't realize raising children in a hotel.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And one girl, she looked like she had 4 or 5 children. Can you imagine you in a 1-room hotel, maybe 2 beds? That's it.
Yeah.
And you got your 4 or 5 children in there. So, no, I don't know.
That's a lot. That's a
some
lot.
Some things we can shield our children from, and some we can't.
That's good. That's good. And so that's why, we're having this conversation today. We're going to talk about this for a few minutes, then we're going to transition over to our other topic of the day, because I took it to the street. I took it to the street yesterday and did some recording of a conversation that we had on here. But I wanted to go to the street and see what the street was saying. So we're going to talk about that. I got a couple of video clips we're going to play, and we're going to comment on the video clips about what they say. But right now, let me go to Ryan. Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Tired, sir. How are you today?
Yeah, doing good. Today Friday, man. That tired, the tire was a few days ago. You see the finish line now, brother. You see the finish line. The finish line is right there.
You got, Monday was a holiday, but somehow it's just now Friday and I'm already over 45 hours. I don't understand how that happened with a day off.
Hey, look at you ain't gonna worry about it when the check come. I promise you that. You ain't gonna worry about it.
That depends on Uncle Sam.
Huh?
So that depends on Uncle Sam.
Yeah, exactly. He gonna get his money. He always be greedy. But Brian, we're talking this morning about a lot of times, old folks say all the time, man, the child's out of the child. Put the child back in the child's place. The child is, he or she is being too grown. You letting the child be too grown. Put the child back in the child's place. Why they in here looking at us when we're talking? Get that child out of my mouth. Put a child in a child's place, or keep a child in a child's place. But Ryan, what is a child's place?
To be a child. It ain't really too much thought to go into that. That's what a child's place is to be a child.
And what does that mean?
Enjoy living. Enjoy not having the burdens of being an adult. Go to school, learn something, hang out with your friends, be creative. As SpongeBob say, use your imagination.
Lord.
I'm just saying, like,
Lord.
You can tell I got kids.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, being a kid is being a kid. Now, sometimes you got to have moderately grown folk conversations with your kids. Otherwise, they stay a kid when they shouldn't be. And like Cassandra said, you better not pop off at the mouth. I'm gonna pop your mouth off.
They're gonna be tasting some blood. They're gonna be tasting some blood.
Might be some boomerang house shoes or all kinds of different things.
This is my confession.
My mama carried this little tiny red strap in her purse. She called it her little red friend.
It
wasn't no friend to me, tell you what.
I didn't like it too much. Let me keep this thing going, and let me go to Tucson. Tucson, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
And it didn't take me long to hit that mute button.
Yes. There you go. And we're talking about a child and keeping a child in a child's place. And we've heard for many years people talking about, that child, get that child out of my mouth. That child ain't got no business being in this conversation. That child, you letting that child get too ahead of themselves. Child too grown. Put the child back in the child place. The child just too doggone grown. That child too grown. What is a child's place, Tucson?
To develop, to learn, to be poured into. I can't learn that from no child. When I was a child, I wouldn't learn that from nobody that didn't know no more than I did. What good is that? I mean, you in a grown season. Me, I'll let you have it for the first time, but I'm gonna get you sooner or later. That should be your child. I'm gonna get
You
you're gonna feel like it.
You gonna slow walk them down?
Your feelings gonna be hurt.
You gonna slow walk
Your
them?
feelings gonna be hurt, and your mama feelings gonna be hurt. Your daddy feelings gonna be hurt because they should have done something in the first place. Because see, I was in a conversation with some people, and later on, a little 7-year-old child came up to me. Oh, you gonna be in trouble? I said, that child, somebody been having a conversation in front of that child. And I told him. I said, look, now, y'all. I said, y'all have to stop talking in front of y'all children because they're telling it.
Yeah.
They're telling what you're saying at home. Because they pour out everything they get in. So to make the short of it is, I love children, but I don't play with them.
Yeah.
Period. I ain't got time for it because they need some help. And if we're not helping them, we're hurting them. They're not my friends. I love them. I'll even play some games with them, but I don't play no games with them.
Yeah.
Did I say the same thing?
No.
It means something different.
It does.
Get out of here. Go sit down somewhere. Go play. Go have fun. You don't know nothing. And you trying to tell me something? Get out of here. Shut your mouth. I don't mean to say shut up, but shut up.
Now, Tucson, in a roundabout way, are you calling them dummies?
No.
When you say you don't know nothing.
Ignorant. Ignorant.
Okay.
Yeah, they're ignorant. That's the same. That only means you don't know.
Yeah.
So it's our job to tell them, show them, instruct them. You don't have some conversations are not for children. You don't have to worry about paying bills. You don't have to worry about whether you got food in the refrigerator. You don't have to worry about shoes on your feet, clothes on your back. You don't have to worry about none of that. Go outside and play.
Yeah.
Remember when I said go outside and play? Not sit on the couch.
Yeah.
And play video games all day. You ain't learning nothing. You're being corrupted with all kind of stuff. You're sitting in front of TVs, watching stuff that don't have nothing to do with true development, really. I mean, because some things that's on even cartoons, they don't need to see that.
Yeah.
Go outside and play. Go cut somebody's field or yard and make a basketball court or football field, baseball field. Go learn how to exercise or something. But you're sitting down there and eating cookies all day.
Tucson, if I'm not careful, brother, I'm gonna think that you might be a little angry about this, brother.
You looking at our children, man. Look at them. We fail them.
Yeah,
I mean, I see, and I know I'm out of time. Where your music at?
I'm ready to put it on right now.
I see kids. I'm talking about 16 and 17-year-old kids. And they look like grown folks. And you wonder why grown men are looking at them. Because you let them leave the house like that. And then when they get 21, you going, man, look, I know some parents, and I know I'm out of time. I know some parents for their 12-year birthday, they let them have a hotel with their friends. You silly person. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're setting them up.
Yeah, exactly.
So if somebody's guilty of it, I'm sorry. We didn't go on too far. I'm
not. You don't go on too far, and you should be shame. You should be super shame of yourself. I'm not ashamed to say it. Ain't nowhere in the world you're gonna have no mess going on like that. What are you promoting? What are you promoting? What are you promoting? I ain't ashamed to say it. You're wrong, and I'm gonna tell you that you. If I see you, I'm gonna tell you that you're wrong. You get mad at me, you want to? It's okay. I've been mad before myself. But hey, don't pay me no attention. I'm just being serious. Don't pay me no attention at all. Just being serious with you. Stanley, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
So good, brother. How you this morning?
Man, Tucson done got me riled up, man. I'm trying to calm myself down. Tucson done got me riled up this morning. But we're talking about children, and a lot of times, I know you've heard, people say, put them kids back in the kids' place. them children are out of order, man. They doing too much. They rude, they disrespectful. Get them out my mouth when I'm talking. They ain't got no business being in here. Put them children back in the children's place. But I'm asking the question, what is a child's place?
Well, that can go down several avenues, but the main thing is if you having conversations, you shouldn't have adult conversations around children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we was growing up. They said children don't have no business in the room with grown folks or grown folks talking, and I'm like, yeah, that's true to a certain extent, but depending on what kind of house you have, how big your house is, and all that kind of stuff, sometimes children don't have no other choice but to be in the room when grown still have a conversation. So when that's the case, then you have a grown up. You don't have a grown up conversation in front of children because they remember everything.
Little tape recorders.
You know, it'll be 4 months down the road, they'll bring up something you talking about. That's why, you know, my wife and I, you know, we're not perfect, but we try not to have grown folk conversation in front of grandkids over here because they will repeat it, and they will repeat it somewhere where they will probably embarrass you. You know, so, and we don't have one of the main things with this generation now. This generation here, we don't have big mamas and big papas like we used to have when I was growing up. You know, I'm not saying those were the best of times, but they had a better understanding of what we needed than the folks do now. Life right now has gotten so caught up. Everybody wants to be big shots. Everybody wants to worry about the money and prosperity and all that, and nobody's really, you know, training their kids. You know, I just watched something a few minutes ago with this young boy in Atlanta, teenage boy, shoulder checked the cop. And when he shoulder checked the cop, and they grabbed him, he had a loaded 9mm Glock.
Wow.
Now, when I was growing up, ain't nowhere in the world I would shoulder check a police officer, man.
No.
They don't have no respect, no discipline, man. You know, and it's just getting crazy with all this transgender stuff and all this other stuff that's going on in the world is in a whirlwind right now.
Yeah.
There's too much going on.
There's a lot.
You're going to have not enough discipline. You're going to shoulder check a police officer as a teenager.
Wow.
Come on. There's no discipline. There's no guidance for these young men, man. That's why I'm really, when my time is up in this position next year, man, you know, all of us, you know, I'm going to get a group of guys together, and we really got to do something to start trying to help these young brothers, man, because they are just out of control right now. So,
absolutely.
But to get back to your question, you have to have grown-up conversation with grown-ups and not let children dictate to how you run your household and to how you run your conversations in your life, because they will remember it. They will repeat it. They repeat it at school. You know, they repeat it with their friends. So if you don't give them grown-up conversations to repeat, then, you know, they will be in their place. They don't need to be talking about grown-up stuff.
That's good. That's good. 508-924-3521 is the call-in number. Give us a call. We definitely love to have your input. TikTok, continue to share the broadcast. Please share the broadcast, and everybody else share the broadcast as well. You can definitely be a part of the conversation. 508-924-3521. Gonna turn to TikTok for a second and read a couple of things that they're saying here. You need to introduce, and Leonard, I'm coming to you, Leonard. You need to introduce children to adult conversations at some point, is what Chris said. He also says our job is to transition them from children to adults. Leonard, speak on that.
Well, I'll put it in the form of, one, my job is to facilitate my kids' best decisions. That's what my job as a parent is. That's what your job would be for any child. And I think I'm like Tucson. If you ignorant, what you gonna tell me? But ignorant stuff. You don't know. You simply don't know.
Yeah.
And it's sad that I think there is something going on in the metaphysical space where the way their children are behaving, it's something more going on. And I think it has a lot to do with, I would say, I related to, and I'm studying more and praying more about it, the God concept. Why is it God created a man and then regretted he had done it?
Wow.
So I think it is more on wickedness that is at play. And when you don't know, and when you ignorant, it's easier for wickedness to take a hold of you. You become susceptible because you're willing to be disobedient. You're willing to put everything at risk. You're willing to risk your very life for something stupid. So you have to be very careful. And I like what a man just said about the conversation. What a conversation you need to have with a kid other than what pertains to them. Your business ain't your kid's business. It's just not. They don't even have the mental capacity to deal with the situations that adults have to deal with.
Yeah.
So what are you depending on them for? You can't, I think there's a psychological concept behind this notion of women who have babies to love something.
Yes.
Before they even love themselves. And I think we're making too many children as a byproduct of sexual immorality.
Wow.
That's why everything that come here is born into iniquity. And that's the fight. That's the fight. Because they have spirits that are willing to do wrong. And so imagine you're trying to deal with that from a parenting perspective. And when you get to a certain point, like I said, I tell people, I say, how you deal with this, that, and the other? You know what? I cry in advance. I cry in advance.
Yeah. Wow.
Because just as sure as you wake up every day, when you're responsible for another human being, you're going to feel it. And so if you ain't ready to feel it, I would advise you not to put yourself in that situation. The most vulnerable I can ever be. I know people think I'm just tough and all. No, the most vulnerable position that I hold is the position of father.
Wow. 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 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. The phone lines are open. They also said on TikTok, Cassandra, coming to you, they said on TikTok that Tony said that he's, I think it was Tony that said he's 38 years old. But he said that a lot of times, and I'm putting a few of his comments together. He said that right now, I think he's 38 years old, but that magical number of 18 is what most people say that children become adults. But he's 38 years old and still haven't grasped the concept. I'm going to go back to what he said here. Let me see. Let me read what it says. 22. Hold on for a second, Cassandra. I want to get to the comment. He said, but basically in a nutshell, as a child, myself, 38, I realized a while ago that I cannot rely on my parents to educate me anymore at 38. So when does a child, yes, we say 18, yes, we say 21, but when is a child really no longer a child? Because,
Can I comment, Raheem, right quick?
Real quick, yes.
With the comment that he made, responsibility came at a far earlier age in our history than it does now. More was expected of individuals much younger than 18 years old.
Yeah, fact. You had at 10, 11, or 12 years old, they was actually doing different things in the household to make sure that this had to be done. It had to be done for the house to work properly. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Cassandra, talk to me. What's on your heart?
Yeah, well, I've stated this before. My mother died at age 29, leaving 5 children. I was the oldest of those 5 children at 12 years old. Literally, even before that, because my mother worked a lot of hours, I ran our household. I was 10, 11 years old. I'm cooking. I'm making sure that my siblings, do their homework. I'm making sure that they're in at the time they're supposed to be in. They get their bath. I was literally thrown into doing adult type things when I didn't want to, and it damaged me. I did not want those types of responsibilities and should not have had them. At 12 years old, my grandmother took all 5 children in. So that meant she had to work 2 jobs. So now I'm working, it was too much. I totally missed my childhood.
Yes.
And then I became a mother at 15. And that really, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I believe that children should be able to behave as children as long as they can. But some of us were thrust into it unwillingly. I did not want that responsibility, but I got it because of situations and circumstance. Even you'd hear Tupac talk about his mother being on drugs, and him and Seth, his sister, who's a friend of ours, even Seth, they were out there doing what they had to do, stealing whatever it was just to eat because the mother was on drugs. There are children all around this country and around this world that are having to live adult-like situations when they're not ready for it. And that's unfortunate. And that's on us parents, on parents. So, I just wanted to say that, some children, we didn't ask to be thrust into adult situations.
Exactly.
And didn't want it.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Badger, talk to me, brother. I know you got a lot on your heart right now. Talk to me.
I mean, that's the thing about community for me. And because even as we get into our 30s and stuff, we still learn from those that are older than us, be it our parents, grandparents, elders, so on. So learning is a never-ending thing. And to me, when young children, like what Cassandra was talking about, because a lot of people can relate to that, they were having to take care of their siblings, either because the parent passed away, the parent isn't responsible, parent was psychotic, so on and so on. Different causes with similar stories, you know, and that takes a huge chunk of a learning process, having these adult responsibilities thrown onto younger people. And it can stunt their growth, in my opinion. It's really overwhelming and causes all kinds of different thought processes. I was speaking earlier about, kids should have time to learn. So when they get 18, 21, they have a strong enough foundation to be able to do a lot of things on their own. But learning never ends. Doesn't mean that you're still a kid as you get older. I mean, all of us can be, I guess the terminology is childlike sometimes. Especially if it's things that we really enjoy, a hobby, different things like that, where we still play around and different things like that. It's an adult version, but it can be childlike. However, it doesn't mean that we're still a kid, because we have a lot of responsibilities we got to take care of when we're older. So, but as far as learning is a never-ending thing. The moment you stop learning, you're pretty much dead.
Badger, you are a gamer, and you love playing games, and a lot of people do. My son-in-law, he's a gamer. He loves playing games. When he get a chance, he'll go get in front of the game, and he'll just hours will go by because that's what he loves to do. And he works so much. That's his release, I guess. What would you say about a person that say, well, an adult, a grown man, woman, whatever, should not spend that much time playing a game?
I would look at him and go, well, that depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people that use it for anxiety. There's some people that use it to vent out their anger because they don't want to hurt people in real life, so they go in a game and do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, games have a good release of different types of hormones. But once again, we get into the category of, do you let it control you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're playing a game and you're not taking care of your house because you're, oh, that's going to anger some people and I don't care. It's called an addiction. You can get addicted to video games like you can get addicted to drugs,
Mm-hmm.
where you literally just want to wake up, go to work, come home, and go do these quests, or go do this, or go do that, earn enough money to unlock this pretty skin, and so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Because it makes your brain fire certain hormones. But if you're capable of playing and not let it control you, I don't see no harm in it. I mean, a lot of the games I play, there's some games that are simulation games that are
Mm-hmm.
about money management and stuff like that, and I interact with my kids on it
Mm-hmm.
because it's a good way to learn how to manage money, like zoos. You have to learn what the animal eats, what it doesn't. You have to learn because there's a lot of reading material and they're factual. You can read the exact same thing in a zoology book.
Mm-hmm.
So they pretty much took a zoology book and made a game. They've got car simulation games. So a lot of those games is what my kids play,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them even I play. Now there are some games that I play that are shooters.
Mm-hmm.
They're not allowed to touch those.
Good deal. Stay right there, Badge. We gotta keep this thing moving. Hold on for a second. I'm gonna go to Stanley. I'm gonna read something that Chris said on our TikTok, and I want you to comment on it. Stanley, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Tucson, want your comment. I'm gonna follow up with you with the same situation. He said, I have a 22-year-old stepson, and I raised him as if he were an adult. So now I am doing it different with my 3-year-old. But not completely different. I made the difficult decision to leave the U.S. to show her what a third world country looks like. Stanley, what do you say to that?
Well, there's really not much content to that because he said he raised him as an adult. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Did he raise him having problems with that child, or that child being successful? You know what I'm saying? And like with the 3-year, I think every person needs to see what a third world country looks like. I told folks when I was in the military, everybody needs to go somewhere, a third world country, and see how they're not unsuccessful, but how they live. Because we take things for granted here. We take the lights and the water and fresh drinking water and the nice clothes and nice living area. We take all of that for granted. I think everybody needs to go see how other people live so we can be grateful for how we have it here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why everybody, now this country is not perfect by far, don't get me wrong, but that's why everybody's trying to get here. You understand? We have it good here. So I applaud him for taking the 3-year-old to see something different. Because I have a cousin who did the same thing. He left the country and he lives over in the Dominican Republic or somewhere. He's been down there like 4 or 5 years. But everybody needs to see a different world than what's here.
Yeah.
So they appreciate, what we have here. But like I said, I don't know if he raised a 20-year-old to be an adult, but is that, is that work out for him, or it didn't work out for him?
What Stanley? He said this right here. He said this right in response to what you said. He said this here. I have regrets because I never allowed my stepson to experience childhood.
Okay, so he was teaching him responsibility from the get-go.
Yeah.
So he put a lot of pressure on him, basically. So it's good that he's doing this. He learned his lesson. You know what I'm saying? He got experience from that. So yeah, it's good that he's doing a different take on the 3-year-old, because I think all of us, to be honest, if we could go back and change a few things, the way we came up ourselves, or the way we brought our children up, I think all of us would make a few adjustments.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, all of us will make a few adjustments. Because we learn better. So when you learn better, you do better.
Good deal. Good deal. Tucson, what would your response be to what Chris said?
Well, nobody wrote the book on parenthood. So every child, you're probably going to do something different. Every one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would. I'd try to. Because they're all different, but they're going to teach you something. Children teach you something. Teach you how to be a parent, but you don't know how. Nobody knows how. Even if somebody tells you how. I think that what he did was good for him. And whatever's good for you, I mean, you got to make some decisions for your household. I'm going to have to check it out and look. Get it?
Yeah.
I got 2 conversations going on, so you just got to come back to me out here if you don't mind.
Come back to you, okay?
They call that work.
I got you. Cassandra, what do you say to that? Because he also said balancing responsibility and fun is difficult. Cassandra, you there? Leonard, talk to me, brother.
There's definitely different sets of dynamics that go along with it. And unless you really fully embrace those things, you learn it as you go. You can pick up all the books in the world. You can, like, say, for instance, if someone came to me and said, well, how do you do this? I have no idea. Here's some good practice. I hope it works for you. But it's different when you're dealing with another spirit. And you have to remember that these aren't animals. Even different breeds of animals have different temperaments. It requires a different set of type of training, different types of training, and the way that they behave. You do the best you can. Children go and come up where you go and come up. If your job is in a third world country, guess what? They got kids over there too. They got kids everywhere you go. I don't look, like Brother Stanley was saying, we take it for granted. There's lots of resources here in America. Like education, for one. Don't take it for granted, because everybody don't get it everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's just that, I don't think there's no one perfect way. I think that you really roll in the dice and it's 50-50. And that's why it's so difficult for me, because I don't usually play by those odds. So, I prefer a more guarantee of success. And with children, there's no guarantee.
Yeah.
There's no for sure fit way to do things. You can do the best that you can and hope that things work out. I don't take nothing from anybody as it relates to this subject.
Let me ask you a question. If along the course of you doing what you feel is best, and you realize that you made a horrible mistake, do you go back and apologize to your child for that, or do you just correct the mistake that you made?
Well, it depends on what the mistake was. Was this mistake something you did to your child?
Yes.
If you offended your child, then that's who you apologize in that case. But in other places, you just find a better way and begin that practice of doing things better.
That's good.
So it's not something you try to do the best you can. Like I said, fishing. Let's take fishing. You go where you think with the best knowledge. They say the fish here. Sometimes you buy a little depth finder so you can see fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know how deep they are and this, that, and the other. But then they still might not bite. You know what I'm saying? You can put the best in your food that you know they like. Just eat it yesterday. They ain't biting today for some reason. That's how parenting is to me.
Wow.
It's about a sure fishing.
Let's see. See, my thing is, Lynn, I jump in the water and swim out them and go get them. You know, being silly. Cassandra, you back with us? Cassandra, you there? Time and that's something he did good. Stop that. Good deal. Cassandra, are you back with us? Badger, talk to me.
I mean, I don't know what much more to say on a lot of this. You know, now
Is it
that's an
difficult?
interesting.
Is it difficult being a parent?
Oh God, man, it's vulnerability. Learning to control your emotions, learning to not react. The accountability that a parent must have to raise a child is very high. You know, and then and that's just for, you know, uh, uh, man, it's I love it. I love being a parent, but it's not a cakewalk by any means.
No.
You know, you got to go. You know, when they're born, you have to make sure they're eating right, and you know the financial side of it. And then as they get older, you know, then you got the hormones as they grow older that you have to learn to process, and then their individuality. Learn new techniques to deal with when they're being disobedient, and how you're going to teach them. Um, then you gotta sit there and sometimes be, in their eyes, the bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
As an example, you know, my son doesn't want to go to therapy, so he's mad at me for that. But it's something that he needs because it's helping him because of what he deals with. And, you know, not letting that tear you up and make you go, all right, you don't have to go. You know, you kind of have to deal with things that you didn't think you'd have to deal with before. It's not like dealing with general public.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are emotions at play that you're told about, but you're not really prepared for. Like, there's without living it, it's not like taking care of a niece and sending them home or being a babysitter. It's a whole different set of emotions that, there's I don't I guess the closest a person could come are the ones that view their dogs or cats as their personal kids. And that might be the closest, but it's a whole different category and realm of life, because it's how do you prepare for things that you have no idea about?
Exactly.
You don't know how your
Exactly.
kid's going to react to something. You don't know if they're going to be born with a developmental struggle or a disability. You know, there's so many variables to it that there's no true way to prepare for it other than just one day at a time. Yeah, I don't know. Like there is no one answer for that at
Yeah.
all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 508-924-3521 is the phone line. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input and continue to share the broadcast. TikTok, please share the broadcast, share the broadcast. Give me some of them likes and stuff like that. You know, if y'all like what we're talking about, give me some of them likes and all that stuff. You know how they do it on TikTok. But anyway, Shanavia, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning, y'all. I'm good. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Good to have you, sis. Asking a question. We're talking about children. And a lot of times, I know you've heard people say, older folks say, you know, put that child back in the child's place. The child is out of position. The child is too grown. Look at him, just grown. All up in my mouth when I'm talking, all kind of different things. And a lot of seasoned adults will say, put that child back in the child's place. My question today is this, Shanavia. What is a child's place?
Oh, this was familiar with that term. Now, for me, putting me back in my place was a quick hand to the mouth, or either you got to go pick that switch at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something that we just we grew up with. And where is a child's place? It depends on who you're asking.
Mm-hmm.
Because for some people, a child's place is to be my servant. You're now somebody that takes on the responsibilities that I don't want.
Mm-hmm.
So that, it's such a loaded question because it depends on who you're asking. More so, it depends on who you're watching.
Yeah.
Not necessarily who you're asking, because we can all give, even the most horrible of parents can give a very politically correct answer.
Mm-hmm.
But when I watch I don't care about what you say. I watch what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It depends on who you're asking. For me, it was more so of conversations that I just did not need to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to learn that lesson the hard way because, we were told to go outside and play, which is what I don't really see a whole lot of children doing now. So being a child's place in today's age, I don't even know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
But, for me growing up, you went outside and you played whenever all the adults was in the house because, I didn't know what conversations was going on. But one day, I just so happened to sneak into the bathroom from the trampoline. And I overheard some good tea that my grandma and my auntie was talking about. And what did I do on Monday morning? I decided to go tell Miss Arlene Rounksville, my first grade teacher,
oh Lord,
what was going on in my auntie's marriage. I didn't know though. This is why they say. This is why my grandmother and my mom and my aunties was telling us, grown folks in here, grown folks talking, go outside and play, or go play a game or something like that. I learned very quickly after I got off the bus at 3 o'clock why I need to stay in the child's place.
Mm-hmm. And it didn't take you long to understand.
Nah, and I stayed in the child's place so much that I became emotionally underdeveloped in emotions, and I'm trying to repair it myself right now.
Wow,
that's how well I learned to stay in the child's place after that day.
Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. I told you all I took it to the street earlier, yesterday, and we're going to talk about this a few more minutes. Then I'm gonna play some of the clips that I asked some of the people on the street yesterday, and I want to hear your feedback on what we're talking about or what we talked about yesterday. But while I'm doing that, let me read what let's go to TikTok. You have to instill in kids at an early age, and I don't believe it's in gentle, and I don't believe in gentle parenting. I couldn't see that. Lord Jesus, let me pull this where I can get a better view. Okay. Unfortunately, kids nowadays aren't taught respect. They're become it's because of their parents. Let me see here. Kids think that they have the right. Okay, kids think that they have the right how they should raise. Okay, that's good. No kids aren't their parents' friend. Respect has to be taught. Respect has to be taught. That's some of the things that's being said on TikTok right now. And TikTok, you can definitely be a part of this conversation. We'd love to have you. Give us a call, 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Mary, good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Well, how are you?
Hey, doing well. Good to have you. Good day. That's, in case people don't know, that's my baby girl right there. That's my daughter. That's my baby girl. Mary, we're talking about kids. We're talking about kids today, and we're talking about letting kids stay in a kid's place. A lot of times, grown folk will say that child is too grown, the child is out of position, and they're they in grown folk business and stuff like that. Put the child back in their child's place. I'm asking a question this morning, Mary. What is a child's place?
I think it's kind of relative to the parent. In my opinion, I don't think children need to know everything. I think that ignorance is sometimes bliss when it comes to children, because it's just not time for them to be an adult. I don't think you should rush the process of them growing up. I think there are things that you should teach them. I think money should be talked about. I don't think money struggle should be talked about, but I think money should be talked about. I think relationships should be talked about. I think things like that should be communicated, because you also have to know the day and age that your children are growing up in. If you don't tell them their friends will.
Mhm.
And 9 times out of 10, they believe that them and their friends know more than you ever know.
Wow.
So I think it's important that I think where Child's Place was before my time is different than now, because now kids are being adults very young. Kids are like most of my peers have had sexual relations before the age of 12.
Wow.
So we're getting into the place where kids are not acting like children anymore. And I'm not saying teach them how to be an adult as a child, but I feel like it should be some things that are pretty open, that a parent should know about it in the house first, especially since now there are different sexual orientations and preferences and pronouns and everything else being taught now. That's different than when it was first heard about staying in a child's place. Because now a child, what is your child gonna say they are today? I have to respect that. Like I think knowing the environment your child is in and what they need to do to stay a child, but still stay knowledgeable so that they're not being pressured into something or informed about something that's incorrect outside of the house, is how you keep your child in a child's place as best as possible now. Because now children know about everything, and everything is a tap away. And even if you don't give them a phone, their friend got one. So it's like you can't really keep them away from the world anymore. It's there, and they're gonna know about it. So you might as well inform them.
Is that a good thing that you can't keep them away from the world now?
It depends on who you're asking. I think certain things is important. I mean, I feel like the fact that we're talking about, I think finances, yes, it's important that they have that at their fingertips to learn about. But I think I don't think children should really care about sexual things. As a child, you're a child.
Exactly.
Be
That's
a
good.
child.
That's
but
good.
I think certain things, yes, it's good that they're starting to know early.
Okay. And you did all that within your 3 minutes. You had 10 seconds to spare. Ain't that something? You had 10 seconds to spare. Let me go to Willow.
Good morning, Raheem. Good morning.
Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. Had my time throwed all off today, Raheem.
Uh-oh.
But I'm off. I got a doctor's appointment at 11:45, not at 9:45.
Okay, good deal.
But I'm good, though.
Good deal. And good to have you. Since we're talking about kids, and I know, Willie, you know, Joseph will be stand by. Joseph, coming to you next. I know, Willie, you know how you've heard people say those kids are out of order. Those kids are out of position. Put that child back in that child's place in grown folk business. And get that child out of my mouth. When he's sitting trying to talk, they're all up in my mouth. That child is, put that child back in the child's place. Keep children in children's places. I know you heard people say that. But my question is this, Willow. What is a child's place?
His place is to stay into an area of receiving information that you're going to need later on in life. These kids, when they grow up too fast, that's because they're paying attention to adult conversation. It used to be where if grown people were talking, kids wasn't in the room listening. And nowadays, they're in the room listening, and then they're acting as though they're adults, getting involved in a conversation. So their place is to be in an area where their level of growing is not too fast. You know where I'm coming from with that? Not being involved in what Uncle James did with Aunt Susie. It's crazy how these kids are now. But you know what, Raheem? It's not their fault. It's not. It's ours.
Yeah.
Because when have we got so that we now ask kids what they want to eat? What you want to eat? Yeah. My grandparents would fix the food, and if you didn't eat it, you'll just be hungry that night.
Yeah.
They don't say, well, I'm going to, well, what you want? You want McDonald's? Or no. And you find that the kids are running the household now versus the people the parents that are supposed to. They're acting them when we're supposed to be directing them.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be teaching them.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to be watching and protecting them.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like they, everything come out, the Nikes or the new Jordans or the PF5 or the PF4. You breaking your neck to buy the things that they want, and you're not even teaching them how to wash dishes or iron their clothes or make their beds up. You go in their rooms and they're a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that because I have grandkids, and I go to my daughter or my son's house. Not all my sons, because I got one son that he's clean. He ain't even a hoarder. He'll throw away everything. But you go to their house and their rooms are horrible, and you sitting up there buying them things that they want. Where do they earn anything? Where do they learn the balance of what they're supposed to do in life?
Mm-hmm.
And it should be starting with us. And that's on my heart right here.
Good deal. Good deal. Joseph, talk to me, brother. Toussaint, coming to you next. Joseph, what's on you?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey,
good morning, Morning Glow family.
Good morning, brother.
I love your daughter's response, man. They said the acorn don't fall too far from the tree.
Come on now.
Summed that up really well, really well.
Well, now hold on. I gotta get credit where credit is due. She get her intellect from her mama. She get her silliness from me. But anyway, go ahead.
I didn't say who the acorn was.
There you go. She get her intellect from her mama, brother. She get her silliness from me. But
hey, I didn't say who the acorn was, but y'all some good parents.
Praise God. Praise God.
Yeah, given the time we live in, we have to evaluate how we parent. We have to evaluate the needs of our children. We have to remember also that our children come from us. When I go to schools and I see children acting out and doing crazy things, man, sometimes all I have to do is look at the parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because many times the parents are negligent and they don't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right. We got to go to work and provide and make sure the kids have everything. But we can't parent kids just by buying them a PlayStation or sitting them in front of the television or give them the phone so they can be all on TikTok and chit chat and all that. That's not parenting.
Mm-hmm.
And when our children start incorporating different values from other places, we should recognize these things and try to redirect, them, have the conversation, and also teach them how to relax, teach them how to have fun, expose them to things that allows them to have fun, to relieve stress, and guide them in the learning process. It's not just up to the schools to teach our children.
Exactly.
It's up to us. We're the first teachers.
Yep.
And that's the mother and father. It's not just the mother. The mother is the first teacher, yes. Because she's carrying that child for 9 months, and then, she's nourishing that child.
Mm-hmm.
She is the first teacher.
Yeah.
But the father is a teacher also.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you line that thing up properly, children eventually they're gonna be themselves when they grow up. They're gonna be who they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna explore. They're gonna be curious, and that's the nature of being a human being.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not uncommon. But we got to be a part of that learning process. Though.
Yeah, exactly. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Toussaint, talk to me, brother.
Look at here, I'm telling you.
Oh Lord.
Mary's right. There are some things that kids need to know, but one thing about they need to know is right and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Direction. This information that they're getting, and possibly if they haven't, they're into. We have 10, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old kids that's having children, they maybe at 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, we may have to teach them abstinence. Or like I say, right and wrong.
Yeah.
That, keep you know what they used to tell us, keep your zipper up and your skirt down. Because there are consequences for your actions. And we need to pay more attention. Cool. When the first attempt of kissing a little boy or holding his hand, and you start having body reactions, and you need to discuss those things with them. Because this flesh here is something else.
Yeah.
So they need directions in how to handle the flesh. Because it'll mess you up. It messed me up. I know. I used to, Lord have mercy, I used to be scared of girls. I had a conversation with a girl when I was about 11, and I was sweating. I wet my shirt up so bad. Cassandra, I am telling you, boy, I was sweating. BB. I wish I still would have been scared of them.
Lord.
Because the consequences of finally catching up with them, oh, Lord have mercy. It was devastating.
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying? So we need to let them know that, okay, I see that you can make certain choices in this society, but sit down here and let's have a conversation about what you're looking at. And if we as parents don't do that, you're going to find out that, okay, you raising us, you trying to, and I don't mean no harm. I don't mean no harm by what I'm saying. You're trying to raise a little boy, but he like dresses.
Wow. We're gonna leave that.
You can't. No, right here. This is something we need to have. He needs some direction. He don't need you to understand that he like to play with dolls. We got to stop that.
Yeah.
And there's a right and a wrong. Okay, my time up.
Lord. Cassandra, you back with us? Ibrahim, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, family.
Ibrahim, we're talking about kids and keeping the kids in a kid's place. A lot of times, adults will say, them children are out of control. You got them all up in my mouth. I'm talking, they all up in my mouth, looking at every word, looking at my tonsils. Just so deep down my throat, looking at my tonsils. Put them children in the children's place. Get them out of here. Keep a child in a kid's place. Ibrahim asking the question, what is a child's place?
To be seen and not heard.
Lord.
Hey, that's old school, right?
That's old school. That's old school.
I was telling a story that I met Martin Luther King and his wife and his children at a bowling alley, and they was all on the floor acting up. I didn't have a problem with them kids. You know what I mean? And I said, I told you so, but hey, I was 13 then, and we couldn't act like that around our parents. Or if people know what you known at, go out and act like that. That was, no, absolutely not. But anyway, hey, it's a hard world out there. I'm gonna give a lot of hats off to people, that are consciously having children. I think a lot of them we unconsciously had it. It was so good we just couldn't stop. Results, right? But like you said, like the other brother said, man, my great aunts and them, they should tell us, hey, girls, you want to keep getting pregnant? Take this pen and put it right between your knees. Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, they ain't where you supposed to talk to children and all like that, right? But hey, just like they should tell us, right? It works, right? Keep your zipper up, keep your skirts down. You know what I mean? It works. You know what I mean? Unless somebody just take advantage of your children, just outright just take them, But other than that, that works. But marriages also were acceptable at younger ages. And it was a girl at 16 was considered marriageable, and younger than that in earlier days, but 16 in America for the last 100 so years has been, the marital age, was the marital age, right? And I think if we don't educate our kids towards having these relationships, now we just anti-relationship, and then we just like blow up when it happens. Like, what did I do wrong? What did the kid do? What did the world? But it's a part of the process that people understood you know, God-fearing people understood long before now. You know, you just can't make something happen, say it so. You can't put lipstick on a pig and call it you know, call it a model. You know what I mean? You just, some things you just can't do. We have to understand that. And we have to really educate our kids now. You know, what kind of story you have with your kids? You know, I mean, from birth now, people go on to school teaching them about lesbianality, you know, hetero, you know, I mean, LGBTQIP before they even learn what the H stands for. You know, there's an H in there too. You know what I mean? Heterosexual. You know what I mean? Man and woman. I mean, we teaching all that. And what do you expect? What do you expect to get? Well, what do you expect the kid to glean out of all this, right? And they see you on talk shows, you know, sometimes you live, sometimes you be negative. You know, you're actually positive yourself. Anyway, I got to go, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, you know, how you making up words on here. Lesbianality, man, I ain't never heard of that one before. Lesbianality. Okay, that's a new word I ain't never heard before. Anybody else have anything they want to say on this topic before we move on to the next? I got a few clips I want to play and get you all's intake on that. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
I was looking up that word, but
I tell you, I listen to every word, man. Lesbianality. Okay, hey,
I really appreciated Ibrahim's comments, and I think we have to understand it will never be the same. You're trying to raise children for a world that you have not seen yet. So it's never going to be this stagnant approach, because parenting has to adjust. It has to, because the world changes, and you're trying to prepare that child for the world to come. And you right on the edge, you getting it day by day. We're learning things about finances and things that will help us. But we understand the child is just becoming what you are in a completely different world. New rules. These types of things have to be integrated into parenting. I want to go back to something Brother Stanley said about other cultures and things. Just because they don't have what we have, don't mean that they don't have dignity and respect in their culture. Because many of them do. And that is why once you give them opportunity, they succeed.
Leonard, have we lost a lot of that here in America?
Yes, because we have this issue of entitlement. It is not. This is not something that should be looked on as negative, but we have to look at it from the point of view of, if you've never had to earn anything, it's different. Children don't earn anything. They whine, you give it to them. That's how we all got here. Put it in the mouth. Put milk in the mouth.
Yeah.
A lot of people still live like that, even when they get to adults. They start whining, they think somebody ought to give it to them. It's hard to wean a child. But you have to remember, they're going to be an adult. You have to move that way, not trying to keep them a child, because you're training them to be a decent adult.
Absolutely. Good deal. Cassandra, what's on your heart? And then we're gonna go to our clips. I got a couple of clips I want to play, and I want to get you all's feedback on that clip. Cassandra, what's on your heart right now? Are we entitled?
I would go ahead.
Do you think a lot of the kids in America today feel as though they're entitled and they don't take responsibility, and they just feel like they can do what they want to do?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And we've created the monster. I have, and it's other parents. I mean, not all of us, you know, you got people like Leonard that ain't gonna be playing no matter what. But yeah, I know that I played into that. I think our children in this country, because of the ease that a lot of them have had, not all now, because there's children that really struggle and because of their parents. But I think that we have really, everything is so convenient for them. And let me tell you how I failed, and I know I failed big. I did not want my children to work the way I just didn't, y'all. I just wanted them to go to school. I worked and went to school from like 12 when my mother died. I did not want that for my children. It hurt me too bad. So I made it I think too cozy for my children. I did.
Wow. 5-0. And I there's nothing I can say on that, man, because let me go to Mary. Let me go to Mary before I even say anything. Yeah. Somebody want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on what Leonard said. He brought out a very powerful point, man, that our teaching is not stagnant because the world is changing. And that is so crucial at this point, man, for us to acknowledge that. I mean, the way we were brought up, you know, we didn't interact too much with people from India and China and Japan and all these different places. But now our children need to understand how the world was shaped, how it came to be where we are today, and what their role is. Because the way we were taught and brought up, and I say we as in the Black community, you know, we were taught to look to those people who had the power. Like when we want to get our car fixed, we go to Pep Boys or whatever. You know, we're going to buy a car, we'll go to Nissan or whatever. But we should be owning these places.
Yeah.
And we got to teach our children that old thinking it's not going to get it.
That's good.
You know, how do we position ourselves to be over the plantation, not just under it? But we Linda brought that out, man, and man, I thank God for this program.
Praise God. To God be the glory, brother. Mary, you're the youngest one on here. Do you think young folks, the younger generation, do you think they feel as though they're entitled, they could do what they want to do? What do you say to that?
I'm sorry. Do I think young people are entitled?
Do they feel as? Do you think they feel as though they are entitled and they could do what they want to do? And I'm asking you the question because you're the youngest one on here.
I think now children feel they're entitled to their opinions, but I don't think entitled to. I don't know, because I can only speak for my peer group. I can't speak for like
absolutely
younger children today. But I've heard people, because just like parents say, I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. I've heard children say, I didn't have to be here.
Wow.
So, I mean, if you're speaking from that way, maybe, yes. That's a sense of entitlement. But it's just as long as it is, I brought you in this world, I'll take you out, because nobody did have to be here. So I don't know. I don't really know what you mean by entitled. Like, do we feel like you should spend money on us? What do you mean by entitled?
They're owed something. They're owed something. You know, we owe them.
I don't think anybody owes anybody anything, and I don't think anybody in my peer group thinks that they're owed anything. So I would say no.
Okay. Good deal. Now, what we're about to do right now, I asked a question on here. I think we actually talked about this maybe twice on here. And I took it to the streets. And I asked the people on the streets what they thought. And I'm gonna play a couple of responses to what I asked them yesterday. And got some very interesting answers. And so now I took it to the street. I asked them on the street. Now some of the verbiage that they use is not DKM vocabulary. So I want to just put that disclaimer out there. Some of them kept it up 100%, and they came the way that they some of the stuff that they said is not DKM appropriate. So I want you all to know that before we go forward. I asked them this question: if in this day and time, knowing the history of cotton in this country, and how it affected us as people, our ancestors, and different things of that nature, knowing what it is, knowing the history of cotton, if somebody came to you and they say they would pay you $900 an hour to pick cotton, would you do it? I'm gonna play the first one and we're gonna comment on what he said. Then we got a few here, so I'm gonna try to make it through. I'm gonna ask a couple of questions of a couple of people about how you feel about what they said, and we'll take it from there. Here's the first one. maybe a little low.
Hey,
Kevin Darden.
do I have your permission to rebroadcast this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Knowing the history of cotton in our country, with our ancestors and all, if someone offered you $900 an hour to pick cotton, would you do it?
No.
Why not?
It's not worth it. It's not worth the money from the history of where we came from. So it's not really worth it. So no, I really wouldn't. No, that's not enough. No, I could do that what I'm doing now. So no, hour.
So it's not happening.
No, sir. Not at gunpoint. No, sir. Or ma'am, whoever watching, no.
There you go.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cassandra, what do you say to that? He said no, he would not do it at all, not even at gunpoint.
Of course, I concur because I've done 4 movies where I played slaves and we were picking cotton in the field. I don't care. No, I did that for a movie because of the historical aspect of it, and I wanted the story to be told. But no, sir, you could not. I don't care. No, I'm not getting out here.
Leonard, what do you say about what he said?
Man, you know, I already told you. What time can I start?
Lord Jesus.
How much you paying? I forgot my Raheem. How much you paying?
$900 an hour.
And is there opportunities for overtime?
Lord,
I will be there. Wait, a matter of fact, if you wait 5 minutes, I'm gonna go get my hat and some gloves, and I'll meet you right back here.
Lord.
About that 900, cuz you know what I'm saying. You just said I was picking cotton. You ain't said I was no slave.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I do it?
And I'm thinking about the historical data that's
I'm thinking about what I'm gonna spend that money on. Okay, nothing about how you feel about. I tell you what, can I get double if I come on Sundays?
Wow. Okay. That's the way I'm like Cassandra, and I'm like the first person that I asked. I wouldn't do it. I don't care, how much it. You can say $1,000 or $10,000, whatever. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it
for a lot less.
I'm
through trash for a lot less.
TikTok, would you do it if somebody offered you $900 an hour to pick cotton, knowing the historical data that goes along with that and the ancestors and with our ancestors? Would you pick cotton for $900 an hour? TikTok, comment on that or give us a call 508-924-3521.
Is it overtime after 40?
Oh, Willa.
Come on,
yep.
Willa.
Yep.
Willa.
Come on, Leonard.
Willa.
We get at least a lunch break.
No, Willa, no lunch break, no water break, no Willa.
It got to be the same. It got to be under the same situations and circumstances that our ancestors picked it. Have to be up under those same situations.
Same situation. I don't know, right? I've never picked cotton in my life, and I was born in the city. I'll just tell you, I never used to like to plant flowers or anything like that. But that is an interesting question. I don't know.
Okay,
that's the truth. I really don't know. But my son had asked me if he gave me $1 million, will I stop working? And I told him no, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I'm not working because of the money. I'm working because it is because of the money, but that's secondary to me enjoying what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Raheem. So that's honestly,
Willa, $900 an hour. $900, 1 hour.
Yeah, Raheem, the money. Like I just said, my son said, if he gave me $1 million, will I stop selling nachos? I enjoy serving nachos.
Good deal. Let's go to our second. Let's go to our second person. And like I said, I'm just going in the order in which they was put in here. So this is the second person right here.
I'm E. Do I have your permission to rebroadcast this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Knowing the history of cotton in our country.
Cotton.
Cotton, yes, sir. With the ancestors and all that stuff, we get cotton. If somebody were to come to you today and tell you they'll pay you $900 an hour to pick cotton, would you do it?
Well, I mean, being from the North, being from New York, I've actually always heard about it growing up. And since I moved here, being from the North, being from New York, I've always heard about it. But actually moving to Georgia and working and actually seeing a cotton field, no. Because honestly speaking, I never met any of my ancestors except for my grandmother. And she recently passed. She told me she used to pick cotton. So passing those fields and seeing it, yeah, cotton is beautiful. But at the same time, it was like bittersweet because I could feel the pain. You know what I'm saying? And I ended like this. Modern day slavery still exists.
Good deal, good deal. So $900 an hour still would.
Nah, you couldn't pay me. To me, that's like selling my soul.
Good deal.
I could never. There's no amount of money that you could ever pay me, ever.
Appreciate you, brother.
Joseph, what's on your heart, man? How do you feel about what he said, and what's on your heart about this particular question?
Well, I think I joined Leonard out there. Let him move over.
Joseph,
I'd go ahead and make that. Yes,
Joseph.
Yeah, I said Leonard, move over, Leonard. I got my gloves too because I'm gonna pay off this house, and then I'm gonna tell them about this and see if I can buy the land.
Lord Jesus.
I should have enough money to buy the land after a few days.
Lord judgment. See, y'all are shocking me. Y'all are shocking me.
Finance.
Y'all shocking me.
This is finance. We talking finance now. Ain't we?
Yeah,
we talking about land ownership now. I'm $900 an hour, man. Yeah. I'll be out there. Y'all be looking for me. I'll be out there in the field.
Now, what about the historical data that goes along with it, man, and all the stuff that our ancestors had to endure? And keep in mind, you will have to be up under those same situations.
Well, I understand. I've chopped cotton and picked it with my mother. It only lasted one day picking it with my mother because I couldn't fill up no 100-pound sack, and it looked like it was taking my mother forever. So we put some dirt in the bottom of that sack, try to get the weight up. So I'm not good at picking. I know I ain't. But $900 an hour, you make it difficult to say no.
Wow. Mary,
an hour?
Yeah. $900 an hour. That's some people. There's some people check. There's some people check
8
for
hours. I'll be sitting pretty tight.
Wow, Mary, what do you say to that? How do you feel about it?
I don't really understand the question because you said am I a slave or am I not?
No. You have to be. You have to for $900 an hour. They're paying you $900 an hour to pick cotton, but they have to be up under the same situation and circumstances as a slave.
What does that mean, though? Because if it's the same circumstances as a slave, how am I not a slave?
No, you're not a slave.
That's what I'm not understanding.
It's the day's time, but they're going to give you $900 an hour instead of not being paid. You will be paid $900 an hour, but it'll be the same situation that you see in the slave movies with the overseer on a horse and all that stuff. And making sure that beating you, doing the thing that you have to do to make sure that you pick that cotton like you're supposed to. Ain't no breaks, ain't no water breaks, like Cassandra said. Ain't none of that. It's the same situation that the slaves was up under. Would you pick that cotton for $900 an hour?
So I would have to see every condition because that sounds like the job of a BM in the Navy. So and they don't get $900 an hour, so possibly I probably would. But I'll have to see everything. Am I getting beat? Like I have to understand the whole everything that's going on because how's that different from a construction worker? That's somebody watching you, making sure you do it right, making sure you do it on time. You get in trouble if you don't. Like it's the condition. It's the only difference in the conditions is you're not called a slave. So I guess that's just workforce. It's just I'm getting paid more. And the only thing that makes it appalling is the fact that it's cotton and I'm black. But if I feel like with that narrative,
even with that part of it, with it being cotton and you were black and knowing the historical data that goes along with that, you would have no issue with it.
I feel like if we had an issue with that, then Black people shouldn't be cops or Black people shouldn't be in the military. I mean, if we're going off just historical things, Black people shouldn't do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting paid that much, and I'm not a slave. I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
Same difference is what I'm doing now. I get paid to kill people. Like, that's what the military is. I'm paid to kill. Well, how is that more morally correct than doing something that's historically kind of foggy because it's picking cotton? I mean, I don't know. Both of them seem like an issue. So I'd rather get paid $900 an hour to do what I do than to get paid pretty much nothing. But I'm working tens of hours a day, especially when I'm underway. Seems like a better condition to me.
Okay. I wouldn't do it. I would not. And just for the people that's listening, would not. N-O-T, capital N-O-T. I would not do it. Let's go to our next clip, and then we're going to go visit some more people. This is the third one right here. I'm trying to get them all in, y'all.
My name is Jacob Daniel.
Jake,
yes, sir.
Jacob, do I have your permission to rebroadcast this on my platform?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, Jacob, knowing the history of cotton in our country, the history of cotton with Black people in our country, okay, if somebody offers you $900 an hour to pick cotton, would you do it?
Me personally, nah, I wouldn't do it just because I got a job, you know what I mean? Like, and my pride big. Like, now don't get me wrong, if my family's struggling and I ain't got no money and they talking about $900, I do a lot. You know what I mean? $900 go a lot farther than some of the construction and stuff that I'll be doing. But just because of what's behind it, nah, I wouldn't go out there and do that. I wouldn't do that.
Good deal. Appreciate you, brother.
All right.
Cap, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning, Raheem. Good morning to the Morning Glow family. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Okay, we took it to the street yesterday, and we asked the question that we talked about on here a couple of times. And I wanted to go to the street to get the response from people random people on the streets. And I asked them, would they pick cotton, knowing the historical data behind what it is and with our ancestors and all, would they pick cotton for $900 an hour? And I'm playing the responses to what they said. Cap, what do you think about what's been said thus far? Because you listen to all the clips, and how would you feel about that personally?
Well, I'm sorry, Brother Wright. I just came on. I didn't listen to all the clips. You know, I'm sure if you posed that question, people gave you some of their opinion.
Yes.
I would reserve opinion about that. You know, I wouldn't on this show give you my opinion, what I thought about it. I just keep, you know, I rather not even comment on that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But she will comment. There's a reason why some say yay, and there's a reason why some say nay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's a reason, yay or nay, but I just respect and I reserve my comment, opinion on that comment, if you don't mind, sir.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm gonna play another clip. I'm trying to get them all in here, and like I said, I got to be out here right at 10 today because I have to go to the school, and so let me play this next one. Let me see. I think I just right here.
What's your name, brother?
Jonas.
Jonas, do I have your permission to rebroadcast this on my network?
Yes, you do.
Okay. Jonas, knowing the history of cotton in our country, if somebody told you they would pay you $900 an hour to pick cotton, would you pick it?
$900 an hour?
Yes.
Yeah, I might.
Come on, man.
Yeah. I probably would, yeah.
Knowing the history now, knowing the history.
Yeah, knowing the history, I sure would probably.
You would do it for $900 an hour?
$900 an hour, yeah.
Okay, good deal. Appreciate you, brother.
All right.
Wow. Toussaint, talk to me, brother.
I'm doing the math, man, and I'll be a cotton picking.
Come on, Toussaint.
I hate to see a cotton field. I live down here, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I see cotton fields and I get sick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about a red cotton. I ain't never picked cotton. My brothers and sisters, they're older than I am. Mom, and you know they pick cotton. I hate the sight of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But $10,800 a day if I work 12 hours, and if I had to work 6 days a week, off on Sunday, $64,800. I might not be doing the math right, but that's a week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about a year. I buy the cotton field.
See, and I did the math on. I did the math. I did the math on a 40-hour week for 1 year, and for a 40-hour week for 1 year, is $1.8 million.
So what in the world does a broke person have a problem or an issue with picking cotton because they don't like it because of what happened in the past? I ain't got nothing to do with that. Now, I know the condition. Well, I've seen the conditions, and they weren't good. So, matter of fact, somebody just saw me sitting on this forklift and not moving, and he kind of circled around me because he saw me talking on the phone. And he kind of circled around me and looked and kind of looked sideways, and now he's going.
Mm-hmm.
I stand here.
Mm-hmm.
Stand here. He told me this morning. He said, "I'm gonna be monitoring you today." I said, "Well, you can stand right where you are and monitor me, my friend, because this seat where I'm sitting, this is where I'm gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
So you ain't gonna have to look for me. And if you so happens I move from this seat and you catch me doing something else that you don't approve of, you gonna be all right, because I'm gonna be all right. Because I'm not gonna jump and move around because you listen. I'm telling you.
Exactly.
But for $64,000 a week, $1.8 million?
$1.8 million a year.
Now remember, Raheem, this is that same mentality that we used in the early 80s when folks like me was going to get a regular job and other folks was going to sell dope.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That shirt you got, why would you wear cotton but not want to pick it?
Mm.
See, that's how black folk get taken advantage of in the mind.
Uh-huh.
Because like my man Wheeler and them said, did you ever think that you could buy that field with that money you made from picking that cotton?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have a building mindset.
And what you gonna do at that point? What you gonna do with the field?
Like I said, pay some other folks to pick.
Mm.
And then they gonna come up. But see, that chip on your shoulder will keep you broke and in poverty.
Mm. Let me go to Cassandra. What do you say to that?
Right. Oh yeah.
I know.
Yeah. I was just saying. Listen. You know, if having money, if that's what it means, for me to have the money to buy the cotton field or whatever, then I guess I just won't. Mm-hmm. Because there is, like I said, playing a slave and being in a cotton field that as far as you can see, and ours was a controlled environment. And we had people that were passing out, people that were getting, rattlesnake, whatever kind of snakes those were, the poisonous snakes that are in the cotton fields, all of that. Man, I don't give a ripping rat, but how much they're paying. It's the very idea. And yes, my mindset is that right there, I ain't gonna never do. I don't care how much they pay it. And it's good. For people that think it's okay and the money is more important than the historical aspect of it, go for it. But I'm just saying, for me, I have been out there in those fields and see what that's like and see what my people had to go through and cry. I mean, we were crying. And we were just plain slaves. Mm-hmm. We were crying, seeing some of the things that the people went through. as a result, like if you fall or if you don't meet your quota or whatever, being beaten with lashes all across, man, you have to be under the same circumstances. Remember, that's what you're saying. Same circumstances. So that means that if you ain't meeting your quota, they can whip your woo.
Yeah.
They can do what they want to you, but you getting that money, man, forget the money.
Wow. Good deal. Voila!
Wait. I was thinking of the dirt. Nah, there ain't nobody gonna be whooping me and stuff like that. But I was thinking on today's term, Raheem, about just working. Because I don't know. Me, myself, I do know the standards. I do know what they went through. But you said $900 an hour.
Yes.
That wasn't a part of that back then. That was not. It wasn't a part of that back then. So you could build scenarios to make them pro or con. That's what I'm trying to say.
Am I saying?
But
am I hearing you say that? Am I hearing you say that? Had they even though the situation and circumstances was as they were back then, if they were giving them $900 an hour, it would have been better. It would have been okay. Even with the beatings and all.
Right. No. Not the beat. You know, that's crazy. I ain't gonna work nobody's job. And they even talk to me a certain way. I wouldn't care how much money they give me. So when you talk about moral ethics and things like that, that changes things. But when you just talk about just working a job, because it's just like what your daughter said. I mean, it's part of just working, being a construction worker or being in the army or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, no, but ain't nobody gonna beat on me or either talk to me a certain way. So, nah, Raheem.
Good deal. Joseph, talk to me, brother. Cap, coming to you next. Joseph, you there? Okay, we may have lost Joseph just then. Cap, what are you hearing in the conversation that we're having? I know you don't want to talk about that particular part of it, but what are you hearing in the conversation right now?
Well, you know, I hear people's opinion, man. I mean, I just feel that, you know, there's an old saying, when you open up your mouth, you put your brains on display. And you may, and when I listen, I put people in categories. You know, as I listen to everybody's statement, and when they say yay, I say, okay, in my mind, I'm putting you in a category. If you say nay, in my mind, I'm putting you in a category. It allows me to look into the minds of those on this show, your attitude. And that's why I reserve mine, because I don't want you looking at my mind and putting me in no category. You ain't going to say, damn, man, Captain sold out for $900 an hour. Oh, man, he's out. You're not going to put me in no category. But it goes to show you, if you give people any kind of scenario, as extreme as that scenario is, we can all, you know, wonder and let our mind drift. If, you know, I always say, if was a fifth, we all be drunk. If we was, but it, so I think slavery and is a very sensitive subject. It's one that should be respected. Of the contribution that many of our forefathers made with cotton. We don't have to pick it no more. We own America. We made America rich from picking it. But I think we should respect the sensitivity of slavery, and we should not use scenarios to its extreme to drive home certain points and let people make mockery of it by what they would do if you give them certain extreme scenarios. I think we need to make certain things sacred, and we should hold that sacred. And that's my opinion, right?
Absolutely. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
I've always worked. I remember my dad when we were coming up. He would take us to these farms and for miles, beans and corn and potatoes, and we picked them from early in the morning to late taught us. We didn't have to. I was like, man, darn, Dad. Why in the world are we out here? And then at the end of the day, they gave us $10. I'm talking about the end. No, correction. At the end of the week,
wow,
they give us $10.
Wow.
So listen to what I'm saying. Now, when I go on a job, every job I ever had, you know what they call me? Easy money. Because I know how to work. I know how to use my head and not my back. So do. I tell people, this is man too, so every time I turn around, you sit in that seat. I say, I sit in this seat. You see me sit in this seat, but I do more work than you do all day. And here I am every time you see me. Because I get to what I need to do. And then I come take my break.
Yeah.
All day long, it looks like it. But follow the paper trail.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'll see that not only is it done, but most of the time, because everybody makes mistakes, it's right. So I'm pretty sure that somebody makes the quota and don't get beat. Somebody sooner or later in the cotton field found favor with the overseer or whatever. I don't know who that was, but somebody did, because they didn't complain. They just picked the doggone cotton.
So would you pick?
And sooner or later.
So would you pick the cotton?
They earned their freedom.
Toussaint. What? So would you have? Would you pick the cotton?
A cotton picker. I don't care what nobody say about me, because here's what I'm saying. I will have a plan. I see something further than just getting out there doing things, worrying about something that don't matter. You're not gonna whoop me. You know why not gonna whoop me? Because I'm gonna be doing what I'm supposed to be doing. A lot of people, they just, hey, you over there. Why are you over there when you're supposed to be over here? He gonna get you. And that's not a slave mentality. I don't think it is. Maybe it is.
Hey, Raheem.
That's your opinion. But what I'm saying is, when I go on the job, you're going to find me doing what I'm supposed to be doing most of the time.
Good
period.
Deal.
Because I don't want nobody talking to me about my job.
Good deal.
I'm doing it. So get out of my face. Okay. That's what I said.
Good deal. Now, y'all know I got to get out of here right at 10 today. So I want to touch a few more people before we go. Because I really got to go. I got to go have we got granddaddy duty this morning. But my thing is, what we're talking about right now is, if a person come up to you in this day and time and tell you that they would give you $900 an hour to pick cotton, knowing the historical data, knowing what our ancestors had to go through and had to endure in those cotton fields, and you have to live up on those same situations and circumstances. Only difference is they'll be paying you $900 an hour. Would you go out on that cotton field? Would you pick that cotton for $900 an hour? Leonard, talk to me.
First of all, I'm gonna clarify your research, because your sample wasn't random. So far with what the examples you've shown us, you picked black men.
Yes.
That's not random.
Well, that's randomly. That's who was out there at that particular time. But I did talk.
I believe this is one of the issues that could do a whole nother show. This is why black folks don't too much care for working. You got folks sitting in air-conditioned offices on their tail all day with benefits, trying to claim slavery. All the work you do is slavery. Slavery. Work and slavery ain't just synonymous with one another. So you need to get that perspective out of your head. All work ain't slavery. Just because you call it slavery don't make it slavery. You never mentioned that we were slaves. You said that they was paying $900 an hour to get cotton. Would you do?
I said under the same situation and circumstances, but hold on. Let me clarify. I did not say that you were a slave, but I said you would be under the same circumstances that the slaves was up under. I never
Right.
said it was slave.
The
Absolutely.
temperature. Are you talking about the geological circumstances?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure it was clear. Don't make work synonymous to slavery.
Mm-hmm. No, that's not what I said. You know, if it was taken that way, that's not what I put
You
out
didn't
there.
say it. You didn't say
Okay.
it.
Okay. Okay. Good.
But see, work does not equal slavery.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is a problem a lot of our people have. You don't want to work for nobody. You don't want to do nothing.
So basically, I'm hearing you saying that that a lot of our people are lazy.
No, they just don't want to work for anyone. And that type of mentality makes it a lot harder for you, unless you're some gifted entrepreneur or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And then when your business get big, guess what you gonna do? Look for workers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good deal. We got about 2 minutes before we get out of here. Cassandra, talk to me.
Yeah. I've worked since I was like 10, 11. I don't have a problem working, but there are certain circumstances in certain jobs I'm just not going to do. And picking cotton is one of them. So listen, I applaud those that think that picking cotton under the same circumstances that our forefathers, that our ancestors did. If you feel like that's okay, them beating you, them not letting you drink, you got like a scoop of water every now and then, a little bit of water, but you work from sun up to sundown, and if that's fine with you, then go for it. Listen, nobody has a right to tell you you should not work for $900 an hour under those circumstances. But that was what was put out under the same circumstances as our ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
For those that have picked cotton and you know what that's like, your fingers being messed up and it's painful. You know, if you don't do it right, it can really do a lot of damage to your hands. If all of that is good with you, it's good with me. If there ain't no damn gloves. Excuse my language. It ain't no gloves. You ain't gonna be wearing no gloves.
Mm-hmm. Wow. We will revisit this one again. Probably as wow. We gotta go. I gotta go because I have to go. I got granddaddy duty this morning, so I gotta get up out of here. Leonard, what's going on at 3:00 today?
If you did not get a chance to hear this show in its entirety, log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com at 3:00 Eastern today.
Leonard said you ain't had to cut me.
Can I get 900 for that?
Yeah. I'll give you about $1.50. Give you about $1.50, brother. About $1.50. Whoa!
Raheem, you can come to Atlanta Hartsfield Airport to fill out an application.
Oh Lord. Lord. Boy, this is something. But look here. This has been I knew I wish I would have broke away earlier so we could have had a little more time, man, because there's a lot of stuff that need to be talked about this, man, and especially with the historical data that's tied in. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, man. I wouldn't be able to pull myself to do it. I just couldn't do it. You know, and for the people that say they can't, like Cassandra say, you know, that's fine. Me personally, myself, my answer would absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, be no. I would not do it. I would not. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Willa, are you ready, Willa?
Right. Go ahead. Somebody said something right here.
Who said something? Somebody said something? Okay. Willa!
Right.
I just want to know, are you ready?
I am ready, Raheem. Come on, let's go to the throne of grace this morning. Let's go before the Lord, Raheem.
Well, I ain't got number one more thing to say. I just got one more thing to say. And you know what that is? Let's go.
Amen. There's nothing like laughter, y'all. Laughter that fills the soul and the spirit and gives you a great attitude. Thank you, Lord. Father, we just thank you so much for the laughter, for the joy that you give us every day, Lord, when you allow us to get up. You know, I thank you, Lord, for the free will to choose, the guidance, the direction that you allow the Holy Spirit to to lead us and guide us, direct us. Lord, I even love you so that you give us the wisdom. You give us the wisdom to know the difference between the two. Father, we thank you so much for the love that we show each other unconditionally. Father, I just thank you, Lord. Thank you for the mercy and the grace that you bestow on us, even when we make bad decisions, bad choices, Lord. Father, I thank you that I can come back and be redeemed, be reconciled by repentance and saying, Lord, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Lord. Not so much that I did it to somebody else, Lord, but because I did it to you. Father, I thank you, Lord. Lord, I thank you, Jesus. Father, I thank you for allowing us to make the right decisions because of you, because of the instructions that you've left us, Lord, in your word, Lord. Your word is so powerful, like a two-headed sword that pierces, Lord. And Father, we thank you. I thank you so much, Lord, that you and you alone are the one that sees our hearts. So I'm asking you, Lord, to touch each and every last one that's on this line, Lord. Father, search their hearts, Lord. Whatever it is that's not of you, Lord, Father, I'm asking you to take it away. Father, I believe it in the name of Jesus that you would do anything but fail us, Lord. We trust you and we trust no man. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for the Holy Spirit. Thank you, Lord, for your wisdom, your guidance, Lord. Father, we thank you. Thank you for this show, the Morning Glow. Father, I'm asking you to touch those that are lost, incarcerated, homeless, those that have to deal with tough situations, don't know you for the part of their sin. I'm asking you, oh Lord, to use us as your vessel, Lord, to let them know that there's hope because of you, oh Lord. We praise and we honor you this morning. We give you the glory and we lift you up. Thank you for Raheem, his family. Thank you so much, Lord, for this morning glow. In Jesus' name. Amen, amen, and amen. Thank you, Lord. We thank you. Thank you. Amen.
And I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all get out there and y'all go out there in that field y'all want to. Y'all ain't getting no gloves. Y'all ain't getting no water. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be tough. It really is.
Some Sam gloves.
Wow. It's been a great week. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. I got to go do granddaddy duty. So yeah, I got to get out of here. It is now, what time is it? 10:06. I hope you all have a great weekend. Let me start this thing all over again. I want to thank you all for joining us. More than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is now 10:06. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light in you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might get some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great weekend. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Give somebody some love and truth. They would appreciate it, and I'm sure that you will as well. Love you. See you Monday morning if God says the same.